Hi everyone, I am Vivekanand from CloudyML team. Welcome to another podcast. We have our guest Arijit Paul with us. Hi Arijit, please tell us about you, like your education background and what motivated you to switch from hotel management background to data domain. So please tell us about that.
Very good evening to one and all, everyone in this podcast. I have studied hotel management from IIT Bhubaneswar in the year 2015, and I had graduated in 2018. And before that, I have studied commerce. So after commerce, I was thinking of what I should pursue and take up in my career after 12. So I came across some luxurious brochures and about the introduction to the hotel industry, the world as a whole. So when I was studying during my internship rather, so I was internship. I got my internship in Taj Gateway. It's a property in Kolkata. Now it's called Taj Vivanta. So during my day-to-day work in an internship, I got to understand about the different areas of the hotel, the different sectors, and I got a better scope about the hospitality sector as a whole. So there I got to work with a lot of data points. I was more interested towards the front office part and the operator part. So there I had to maintain some records of customers. We had to call them. We had to get a list of all the guests which had stayed in our hotel and if they enjoyed the duration of the stay. And there was some other questions which were related to the satisfaction scale. So from guest satisfaction I got to understand that to understand customers I have to understand the business and data points as a whole. So from there I got to this passion for data that grew from there. And once I joined my first company, it was in McDonald's, but due to a health issue I couldn't continue working in the hotel. It was mostly a retail business, and I was posted in Ahmedabad. And after coming back to Kolkata, there were not many opportunities in the hotel sector. So from there, I transitioned as a process associate. So I was working in Concentrix. I was working in Concentrix from 2018 to 2019. In my 10 years, I got to assist customers. I was the front end voice for customer escalation, the support. I was working in chat as well as emails. So from there, I got to work with Excel, maintain records of Excel sheets, of database of many rows, columns. So from there, I got my first acquaintance with Power BI. Then I switched into TCS, and in TCS, I switched as a process associate. And in my journey, in my continuation within TCS, I got to understand about the data world as a whole and data analytics. During COVID time, during pandemic, there was a rush, and everything just declined. All the markets, was everything became remote from going to office. So when I was working remotely, I got some time so that I can work on myself. I can upskill and gather some more relevant skills so that I can full-fledged get some experience working as a data analyst. So initially, I was not looking to switch my company. I was looking for switch as a role, like if I can work more of a analyst role as well as a developer role. So I got some learning materials. I got my own upskillment. So I gathered a lot of resources to study. Our company had a partnership with one, you can say one MOOC portal, like massive online open education portal. So I gathered all the courses from there. And in LinkedIn also, it was very new. There were so many, you can say, public figures who are extremely accomplished in the world of data, in data analytics, data engineering side. So then I came across data visualization, and initially it was a dashboard which our company was using as a central point to gather and see all the data, how each and every representative performed, what was the mostly the solve issues which is getting resolved, which issues all the issues are not getting resolved. There are some issues which always comes back, so we had a dashboard and it was prepared using Power BI. So in my company, I got to further uptake in that part, I contacted with my managers, and then I took initiative to work from that end as well. And then I got released from my associate project where I was working in chat support in the customer service. Then I got into a Power BI a developer project where I was working with Power BI, collecting data from Excel sources and building up dashboards. And after that, I got to improve my tech stack. So I was working with Azure, and I also have experience with Snowflake as well. So this database knowledge was something which I had built, during my employment in TCS. Currently, I'm
Okay.
still working with
Currently, you are in
TCS.
TCS
Yeah, yes, yes. And currently, I'm
as a
working as
Power BI developer.
yes, yes. Currently, I'm working as a Power BI developer, and I've gained valuable experience. It will be my like almost the end of third year when I'm working as a Power BI developer. So that's how I'm kind of like growing with my career in the world of data visualization. So mostly my work role is of a data visualization engineer, but I'm using Power BI as a primary tool to maintain my day-to-day activities.
Great.
Yeah.
How you came across CloudyML courses? Can you tell us about that?
So when I was starting to get to know about data and the data analytics part, so during like few years back, I came across CloudyML, and initially I'm a writer on Quora as well. I do like publish some of answers in Quora. So from Quora, I was seeing an ad. So from that advertisement, I got to further know about CloudyML. What's the initially what the company does, how it transitions a lot of job working professionals rather than job seekers, how it transitions the working professionals into the world of data domain and data analytics. Because since 2020, there's been a huge boom in data domain in the data field, and the amount of data which we had, it's almost multiplied in the last few years. So now we have to maintain a lot of database, and now companies are looking for analysts, companies are looking for engineers, so who can maintain work with that data. So yes, that's how I got to know about CloudML. And initially, I there was just one course, the full all-in-one combo course of data scientist as well as analyst. So yeah, I got to get enrolled in that course, and I'm now like I finished the Power BI, SQL, all those Excel parts. So yeah, now I'm still upskilling myself. I'm still seeing the other courses, and also growing in my visualization skills.
Great, great. So, what exactly you liked in CloudyML courses, and finally you enrolled in it? So, what are all the features you liked while you were upskilling? Can you talk about that?
So initially, CloudML offers a very good curriculum of courses. It takes all the topics and it further it like there's a portal, the learning module. The learning module is very well optimized, and it gives an insight of all the topics. Then when we click on the topics, it gives us the entire overview of the course. And also there's been healthy updates so that the UI is friendly. So for a non-developer, the UI is one of the challenges. If the UI or the user interface, if it's very complicated, then we do not take that initiative to complete the course. And what CloudML does, it gives a very bright UI with very interactive content. So first the UI, then the content itself. So these two things are very much important, and these prompted me to get the course and also get upskilled. And also very much the help is also supported by the TAs. So yeah, the backend support is also great. Whenever if there is any doubt, then there is also some regular doubt cleaning sessions. And yes, that's something which I have leveraged myself, and uh, it helped me grow in my career, in my work. And now also when I'm looking for other opportunities, and now I'm optimizing my profile in such a way that like I'm getting calls from different kinds of recruiters who are not only in need of a Power BI developer, but in cases they need a business analyst or a data analyst. So in the job hunting course, there is also a module of how you can like market yourself. So basically, we are like at the end of the day, we are all products, and how we can market ourselves as a product, how we can upskill and become the better version, that is very important. And also like profile optimization is important. So when I started taking up CloudyML courses, I had only 200 to 250 LinkedIn followers, LinkedIn connections, you can say. So from there, I got some strategies, got some help on how I can build my profile better, how I can help others. So if you are helping others, it gets noticed by the hiring managers, it gets noticed by your own supervisors who are working in your project. So that also gives a very good impression. And creating and making that impression last is one of the most important things which I believe is important to grow and succeed in this domain. So now I have over
Right.
6,000 followers in LinkedIn, and I aim to grow more, at least 10,000 followers by end of the year. I'm planning. So let's see how far I can grow.
Right, right. So actually, Akash sir's job hunting course actually help you to grow this network, right? See, in all-in-one super combo, we have this job hunting course, right? So yes, first of all, confidently preparing ourselves and then finally applying those techniques, then the placement techniques, how we can grow our profile, how we can optimize our profiles, or how we can make our resume. So that first of all, our resume is shortlisted and we sit for the interview, right? We also share question answer PDF. So how the question answer PDF 400 set of questions helped you in the interview? So can you tell us about that?
So apart from this, I also got part of a Telegram group in CloudyML. So it also has a very interactive Telegram group where it shares PDF. It also shares the openings which is there. So like I didn't focus much on the openings part. I was focusing more into developing new skills and also to learn what are the new updates which is going in the world of data in Power BI. There are so many updates which has been going in the last few months. So yeah, so these things, those questions were also helpful. It also contains questions regarding Power BI service as well, which is very much asked during the question part. Because now people are looking for developers who are more used with Power BI Pro as well as Power BI Premium capacity. They might not use it in a day-to-day basis, but they should have an idea. If someday if the business analyst or the supervisor developer calls a day off or is not available, then what we as a developer what we can do. So yeah, that's something which I
Right.
learned from like my work, as well as the interview question, the set of questions. So yeah, and it keeps on updating. Like every month we receive new kinds of documents, new SQL problems to solve. So yeah, all in all, it's kind of a amazing journey which we can get.
Right. It is better to develop multiple skills.
And it's important to develop like a tech stack, rather than just focusing on Excel, Power BI, SQL, Python. Like the conventional way is something which we followed all these years, and going ahead now the tech skills of employees and candidates are more important. Like, are you aware with Azure, how much you know Snowflake? So you need to mention all these things in your CV, as well as you need to get that foundational knowledge. So yeah,
Right.
everything is going on the
Right.
clouds.
So when you had your interview in TCS, what are the kind of questions were asked during the interview?
So yeah, like initially during the introduction, as I mentioned, so initially I was hired in TCS in a different role, and when I transitioned, when I switched internally, initially there are two rounds of interviews which gets taken place whenever if we want to get hired as a developer, or if you want to work in an IT project. The first round is generally taken by the project manager or the supervisor who will be working, and the next round is taken by the client. In some cases, the HR is also involved, but in internal switching, mostly the technical is the first round, and the second round is your behavioral, managerial, or client round all in one. So, in the first round, basic technical questions were asked related to Power Query. Then questions were asked about data modeling, difference between star schema, snowflake schema, which kind of work you are familiar with. And initially, when I was like not part of a developer. Initially, I didn't have any college which has been like which has given me a BTech degree or any engineering degree. So initially, I had to explain that I made Power BI projects. So we have to get that interested. So if the employer or if the person sees that you are interested and you have this knowledge, then it becomes like very easy. So, initially, we had to mention the things which we did as well as the things which we have a knowledge about. But as we grow in our work, as we learn, once we get into the project, so we can explain those things in a much easier way. Apart from these, questions were asked mostly on the visualization aspect, like which is how we can optimize Power BI reports, how we can use measures more than calculated columns, and some basic SQL questions were also asked related to the querying part and joints and like unions. We need to know all these functions and CT, rank, dense rank. So all these things were asked during interview. And once I got into the project, I got to know so many other things as well related to the Power BI, related to SQL, and mostly the business as a whole. So understanding and gathering the domain knowledge is very important. That much I can say. So mostly I have good experience in the retail domain, and like I can connect it with my first job in McDonald's, where even that was in retail. And in hospitality sector, we also have a lot of like learning and a lot of experience in the retail market as well. And in data visualization now, it's very much booming in the retail companies. All the major retail companies in the world, they are now using BI in their like for their analysis rather than just guesswork and trial and error.
So along with the technical skills, what are the other skills necessary when you sit for the interview? Like, what are those skills other than tech skills they judge when you sit for the interview? Can you throw some light on that part?
Sure. So apart from the technical skills, we also need to highlight our domain knowledge as well as our functional knowledge. In the domain knowledge, it comes under like there are domains like healthcare, retail, BFSI. There are multiple domains where we can share our knowledge, share our insights, and we need to know those basic kinds of terms like gross margin, net profit, gross profit. We need to know these basic financial terms because this will come in very handy whenever if we're giving any interview, because most of our day-to-day work will be carried around like mentioning all these terms to the client in a more visual. So it's just these basic terms we need to know. And being from a commerce background, I was acquainted with these terms at a very young age. So it became easy, as well as some functional idea is also related. And it's also very important in interviews where they will ask you what was your role as a developer, what's the capacity of your team, what have you learned from your previous organization, what have you learned from your previous project. If I'm like I have worked on 2 or 3 different Power BI projects. So which project where you like what have you learned in your current project? What are the skills you are planning to learn in the near future? So you have to showcase yourself as someone who is continuously learning and continuously you're growing. You need to present yourself in such a way, and your profile should also contain these details. It should not be that your CV is mentioned in a different way and it's not updated, and then the recruiters will get a false light. They will ask questions related to your CV, and they might not know that what you have learned. So it's a very good practice to keep your CV updated and also your profile, and that's important to showcase in the interview. Like in Power BI, when I started learning, we had like basic charts, basic visualization charts. So people used to do custom visualization a lot, and that was a very important question, that have you worked with custom visuals? But in the last 8 9 months, Power BI has improved a lot in its own native visuals. So now we can club multiple card visuals into one, so it will make the report very optimized and also won't take much weight. And apart from this, it's also a healthy practice to mention about the tech stack, which I mentioned, that we have experience with Azure, we have experience with cloud data, not just the on-premise data. So that's something which always highlight your profile a lot. Yeah.
Right. So, and lot of things you have said almost so fantastic. It will definitely help the learners who are currently switching their domain. Okay. So, or those who are still in the mood of preparations for data domain. So, one question which is actually, I wanted to ask. You are from the hotel management domain, and of course, slowly and gradually you switch to this particular Power BI developer domain. But initially, when you started that, you have a plan to switch. What was your mindset, and what kind of nervousness you went through, and how you actually overcame those nervousness?
So definitely, like coming from a non-technical background, initially when I was like sharing my time and like connecting with people who had a lot of experience, initially thought always comes back. Like it's a glass ceiling, that we cannot get into that level. They have been so much. Well aware and well acquainted with data and this engineering part, that sometimes it comes as a hindrance. But if your communication is good, if you believe that you are confident enough, and if you have the time, because I come from a semi-urban town of Bhadreshwar. So my office is based in Kolkata, so it becomes very difficult for like people like us to continue the journey to go to office and come back and then again prepare. So I stayed near my office. I stayed in Kolkata for these few years, so that I can at least manage the time to work on myself, to work on my skill. And for that, I needed to break that ceiling. I needed to have that confidence that, see, I'm a hotelier at the end of the day. I know how to connect with a guest, connect with anyone who can come visit my store or visit my hotel. So why not apply the same confidence when I'm learning something new? So that's something which I like with time this became more clear. And since my communication was something which was one of my strengths, I got to learn more with the people who are well acquainted with data. So first I became data literate. Once you become data literate, once you get to understand the columns and rows and records and transactions, once you get to know the fact tables with the dimension tables, once you get to understand about multi-dimensional models, the core concepts are important. If the concepts are clear, you can definitely venture further into it. So all the tools, it will have the same core concepts. You can apply the group by functions in SQL, and you can also apply that in Power BI. It will always come in a different name, but the core concepts will be always there. So yeah, that's how I use like relational quality. Like SQL has relational databases, I use the relational knowledge to connect my knowledge and then just
Yeah.
further
So
dwell into it. Yeah.
you have shared a lot of things with us. So fantastic. It will definitely help the learners or those who are having the mindset or mood to prepare and switch their domain to data domain from the other domain. So thank you for that. Currently, the scenario is people are fearful in switching from non-tech background to data domain. They have that sense of fear whether I'll be able to get into this domain or not. I have a career gap, whether I'll be able to get into this domain or not. So definitely your thoughts is definitely going to answer their questions. And it would definitely motivate them to focus properly and learn properly right along with this hands-on assignments or practically they can learn. Then they can perform better in the interview and crack the job part. Right. So when you used to ask your queries, or I would like to ask about the doubt support part. So please tell us about the doubt support part. While you were asking the questions, how soon you were getting the answers, and how it was very helpful in your learning journey.
Right. So initially in the doubt support part, the timing was from like 6 to 12, I guess. Now I think it's 24/7. Now we are now every learner from CloudyML will be getting far more dedicated TA and far more support than it initially began. So when I was facing any doubt, initially I prompted it into the chat inbox that, hey, I'm facing this problem. How can I get a solution? Or suppose in Power BI, I was a bit more confused with the bookmarks part on the or the some of complicated DAX queries. So I got like maybe it was not very immediate, but whenever like that the guide was available, whenever the teaching personnel was available, I got a reply within a few hours. And also I got some other relevant links which I could have shared and which I can explore myself. So that was very prompt and it was concise, and I got what I wanted. That was very much good. And apart from that, I would also suggest to further take help. Whenever you're stuck with something, it's very important to take guidance. And also, if you know something, then you can also help others, and that will also be a very important thing. So maintaining being a part of Discord groups, being a part of like WhatsApp groups or Facebook groups, which connects data like seekers with other data seekers. That is also a very important thing to do. So networking is important. Yeah.
We also have Telegram channel where we post job openings. So suppose if I want to ask, what would be your suggestions for those students who are starting their upskilling journey? So what kind of courses they should opt for, how they should start their upskilling journey? So please tell us about that.
Regarding career transition into data, I would definitely say that it's a very vast domain. So we should always know what we want to achieve. If we're someone who doesn't know anything about coding, then initially of switching or like watching a video where someone can become a data engineer, or maybe data engineering as a field, that person can opt for data analysis, which might be a better fit for that person. So there are many scams also which are coming up in the data world. So one should always be very careful of those scams and things. Like we cannot become a data engineer in 2 hours or data analyst in 1 hour. Those things are something which is not possible, and those things are just being marketed in a huge way in the last few months. So you might also come across such things or such postings. So for anyone, they should give time, because what I did in my own life, like personally, I stick to a company and also I grew with my skills, and now I'm getting opportunities, now I'm getting calls, and this thing will be very much helpful for anyone who wants to come into data, who wants to work with data analytics. First, that person should understand what goals or what drive that person should have, whether that person wants to become machine learning engineer, whether that person wants to become a data scientist or a data analyst. There is growth in every field, and in the next 2 to 3 years, data will multiply again. It will again multiply. We'll have twice the data we already have in the next 2 to 3 years. So it's very important, and this is a very fast growing field. So yeah, that's all I can say.
So much. You have shared lots of information regarding how people should start their upskilling journey, what kind of mindset they should have while they are preparing for it. Whether you come from any education background, you have career gap, still you can switch to data domain. You have proved actually a result. So if I would have been in your place, definitely I would have given a second thought whether I'll be able to switch or not. So you have actually remove that kind of doubtfulness from the mind. Everybody coming from any education background can definitely switch to data domain. Mindset that I can do, I will do, then definitely you can do, or you can upskill yourself properly and switch to data domain without any doubt. Thank you so much for sharing a vast information and about your journey. Thank you, Arijit. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
So we'll end the podcast over here. Thank you everyone for watching the podcast. We'll meet in another podcast. Thank you so much.